Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellency, Mr. Peter Maurer, the President of ICRC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. It gives me great pleasure to see you all here holding the third strategic dialogue meeting between the State of Kuwait and the ICRC. This strategic dialogue meeting is a clear indication of the intention of Kuwait to further strengthen its cooperation in all fields and sectors with ICRC. The relationship that Kuwait has with ICRC, it's a long-standing one, and that really transpired in a very difficult situation with great achievement and great success. This cooperation, it's a role model of a cooperation between a state, a country, and ICRC, and we would like it to be as well as an exemplary to other states with their cooperation with ICRC. Since our last meeting for the second strategical dialogue in Geneva in early summertime last year, lots of things happened in the world. Most importantly, that the world has been ravaged by COVID-19 pandemic, which has perturbed the whole world in their priorities. The mere fact that we are holding this meeting, albeit all the constraint with resulted after COVID-19, it's another testimony of our resolveness to keep routinely our meeting with the ICRC, and for it also to be an enduring one in the further years ahead. This pandemic also showcased that there are lots of priorities that has changed regionally and also globally. One of the most important thing is the message of ICRC, that now it is not only for ICRC but also for the whole world in maintaining the international humanitarian law. It's one thing that Kuwait is proud of, and it is one of the pillars of our foreign policy. Another aspect in this regard is that this crisis, as well as all other crises, cannot be defeated alone by a sole country or a sole organization. It needs a collaborative effort of the whole international community to combat this disease and vanquish this pandemic. And the result of that is that we see that there is a new phase of solidarity from the whole world towards finding means and ways to stand together in cooperation and solidarity to combat this pandemic, and also to find a cure for this pandemic. The third aspect as well is that also the priorities we see in the international arena, also it has changed. The challenges that we are facing is numerous, but one which is really very important is the emphasis on science research and medical research. Now it has been upgraded to a national security agenda and policy as well. And Kuwait, along with other countries, share this policy and this philosophy of emphasizing on its priority more focus on advancement of scientific research and medical research, Your Excellency. Now, saying all that, so much, I would just like to conclude by reiterating our commitment to ICRC and also to this important dialogue. The transparency and the frankness in this dialogue is very important, and also the symbolism of the continuation of it regularly on a yearly basis is also very important. So we are looking very much for the fourth dialogue. We would call that this dialogue, although it's virtual, but it's a rain check. It will not forfeit you from visiting Kuwait and seeing by yourself all of what we have agreed on in solid and concrete matter. I would like also to thank from my part Dr. Hilal Al-Sayer, the very efficient Ms. Baha Al-Barjat, also Mr. Musa'ad Al-Anizi. All of those persons have worked tirelessly during this pandemic from the beginning, and as you have witnessed and heard from Dr. Hilal about the work, tremendous work that the ICRC has conducted here in Kuwait. It has showed its nobility in facing those tremendous responsibility, but with extreme professionalism and care, and was a model for all other NGOs and humanitarian relief organizations in Kuwait. So I would like, in this regard, to commend all of those, their effort. Also, one thing that we have missed, and I will be remiss if I didn't mention it, is to congratulate Dr. Hilal for the for the membership of the permanent committee of the International Movement of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent Society, and to thank the support of ICRC for Kuwait's candidate and for Dr. Hilal in this matter. I would like also from my part to thank His Excellency the Director General, Mr. Abdul Wahab al-Badr, also for his relentless effort in showcasing Kuwait's development project and the role of Kuwait Fund regionally and internationally. And also to thank again my dear friend and colleague, our ambassador in Geneva, Ambassador Jamal Al-Ghnaim, and he is our direct link with ICRC and with the Office of Presidency. I again would like to thank you, my friend Peter. I will wait for your call, Seta Khemidi. I very much listened with very care to your office in Iraq. Thank you very much for continuing with this norm. We have heard the same thing when we were in in Geneva last year from the predecessor, and it's very important if we can also continue and to do such in the fourth dialogue. There are some segments that I haven't heard well, and I have instructed my colleagues to be in touch with Dr. Umar to have a transcript of the presentation of the ICRC office in Iraq. Finally, I would like to thank our moderator, Dr. Umar, for the excellent presence and conducting our meeting today, albeit it's virtually, and to reiterate again our support for all the work of the ICRC office in Kuwait. Thank you all.